first thing that is required, what I feel is that I'm heading as the Pro Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, but I see myself as the Chief Transformation Officer. We need to literally look into the roles that we play, because we are sticking on to those stigma of those roles, and we are restricting ourselves in not doing anything beyond what we have been doing for years. So most important thing that we need to do, re-introspect on the various roles that we play. Unless we ourselves question the status quo, we won't be able to get all these things which they have mentioned. So I'm going to cut across all the three, because doing it one by one will be very difficult. So I'll just put forth certain views of mine so that you can build on it. To begin with, sir was rightly pointing out that the students turn up to the classes are getting reduced every day, Harvard study and other things. Just imagine what would happen to the Indian academic institutes, to the private institutes, if the attendance is completely removed, or if by a high court ruling, as it happened to one of the law programs, they said like attendance is not required. What if there comes a ruling like that? So how many students will turn up to the classes? So this is the most important question that we need to rethink on. Why should they come to the classes? Yeah. Right? Second thing is that we do formative assessment and summative assessment all the times, but can any teacher tell me what is the difference between the two? Only the summative is a 3-hour test, formative is 1-hour test conducted at various intervals, but a clear definition of formative says formation of knowledge, summation says like whatever you have learned collectively you are being assessed. I used to give this example of driving, learning driving and undergoing the driving test. Right? There are no second chances unless if you put the 8 properly. For a two-wheeler, you will not be given, even if you do a single mistake. That is what summative is all about. But formative is the stage where you can do a hell lot of mistakes, but we are not allowing that. Until now, our system treats formative also as a one-time chance given to the student. If he fails in the quiz, his grades goes down, internals goes down, that demotivates them, ultimately resulting in their failure. So what we have introduced at Chandigarh University is that the formative is given enough number of chances to the students to fail and learn and then improve, right? And collaborative learning is not happening inside the classroom. Sir was telling about the online learning. Even though we have provisions up to 40% of the credits to be learned and earned online, we are not allowing in-class online learning. It is very tough and very challenging for the teachers to practice it. As sir rightly pointed out, we are delivering for the 45 minutes. Our monitoring body says that if the teacher is down from the stage, they are not teaching inside the classroom. That is how it is being recorded. But we want in-class online learning to be emphasized for the students and teachers. Reason being, you cannot assess all the 60-70 students in the uniform way. You need to use AI to immediately reflect upon whatever you have been teaching inside the classrooms. So that requires curated assessments, collaborative as well as individual, inside the classroom through AI tools, which should be used over the mobile phone, but quickly restricted. It is under the control of the teacher. The second thing is the resistance. There is a point of resistance in involving new things or doing new things. The one thing we strongly feel teacher is losing to is to an influencer, right? Students don't teachers as effective influencers as they see in Instagram or YouTube. For the first time, we have introduced theater as a pedagogy for the teachers. We wanted the teachers to groom themselves and deliver in such a way that Gen Zs understand and get inspired with, right? This also makes the classes more interesting, more engaging for the students also. So this is one another thing. And multidisciplinary collaboration, sir was talking about. We do this multidisciplinary collaboration mostly in the form of projects, but projects are usually considered as capstone projects, right? But no one understands like capstone is a culmination of all the learning that happens over the years. Nobody understands that over the period of 4 years, they might have forgot so many things. Technology and other things might have evolved over the period of time. For the first time, we have introduced something called a project gap course. Whatever the outcome that you have for your project, which you are expecting to achieve, you create a gap course through AI so that it fixes all the gaps based on your learning through the curriculum, additional learning that is required, so that you learn that particular thing before you get into the project. So this is the unique way by which we allowed the faculty members to utilize AI to curate their own. So the other thing is, sir was telling about bold initiatives inside the classrooms where the teachers should be allowed to do. One of the IITs started doing this open GPT test. So they allow the students to use GPT, but they wanted them to present the prompts, right? It is a reverse way of thinking, asking the question and expecting them the answer, rather allowing them to give the question that you have given in order to get that answer. So this is a new age approach towards utilization of AI inside the classrooms that requires a bold initiative and a proper policy to ensure that this is happening inside the classroom. So some of Sir's points was regarding this environmental studies and mandatory Indian heritage and culture kind of courses. But rather than giving them as one single course at one point of the semester, we need to break down that course by sensitizing the importance of it and make it into activity points on every later activity that the student is engaging in some form or the other. For example, environment, right? We are talking about innovation and everything. Just go outside this room. I'm concerned about Delhi, particularly I came into Chandigarh also. This is spreading to Chandigarh also. In spite of 90% of this stubble burning has been reduced from Chandigarh and Haryana, which is contributing to this pollution, the pollution remains the same. And China is clearly putting it in Twitter. We were like this, we changed it like this. If India wants help, we are ready to support. This tweet came recently from China, but still we are not able to do anything. We are allowing people to sit inside the gas chamber and these kind of air purifiers and other things. So innovation should happen literally by making them to get sensitized for environment. So particularly for environmental studies, rather than giving it as a 15-hour, 30-hour course, you just make sure that you give 1 hour of 2 hours of awareness of environment by bringing them to Delhi at least for the air pollution. Otherwise, for the respective pollution in your respective towns. Make these as activity points as a part of their projects and assignments and everything that you do, because ESG, environmental sustainability governance, cannot be taught as a subject. If you are doing that, that is the biggest mistake. That requires the reintrospection from the perspective of how to make it more effective in the form of outcomes. So these are some of the initiatives that we have taken. So we wanted to build on your experiences so that we can discuss further.